Hey everyone, this is Rangers Ready to Go back with another Toku Talk Tuesday. Today's topic, Power Rangers 2. What I'm referring to is Hasbro has confirmed that they will be making a sequel to the 2017 Saban's Power Rangers theatrical film. That's fine. I've talked about this a couple times before. First, my actual review of the 2017 Power Rangers film. I reviewed almost a couple of years ago on this channel. And then not too long ago, a few months back, I did a video talking about Power Rangers sequels. Is it a possibility? Is it not a possibility? What will Hasbro do once they acquire the rights to Power Rangers? Well, we now know they have confirmed that they are in collaboration with Paramount and AllSpark Pictures to create a sequel to said 2017 Power Rangers film. Now, since Hasbro has rights and Saban no longer has rights, it will be more than likely titled Hasbro's Power Rangers 2. Or who knows, maybe they'll just keep it Power Rangers 2. It could be Power Rangers with a subtitle. I don't know. But today I'm going to try to keep this quick and talk about what we want and what we don't want. When I say we, I more specifically mean I, myself. However, I'm sure I'm not the only person out there with these points of view. Now, to start with what we want from Hasbro's sequel to 2017 Power Rangers. What we want is more action, less talk. Seriously, first and foremost, this is an action film. We don't need 45 minutes of exposition about characters technically we should already know, because these are technically just reversions of characters that we know from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Jason, Kimberly, Billy, Zach, Trini, Tommy Oliver. Now, again, what we want is action. These should be action stars. You should be casting action stars, not teenage sitcom drama stars. Because I only say that from my impression from the 2017 Power Rangers film was there was far too much exposition and character building on characters that were already established, and they changed them, by the way, not just a little, but by a lot, like exponentially, to the point where it didn't even seem like the same group of teenagers anymore. Again, switching roles, colors, and all that aside, the movie did, I guess, what was intended for it to do back in 2017, and that was to try and revive Power Rangers in the mainstream cinema. Like, basically, anyone who didn't know what Power Rangers already was, now you know what Power Rangers is. However, that view of Power Rangers, again, is skewed and so distorted and been changed from its original source material that, to me, it didn't seem like a Power Rangers film. It seemed more like another overhyped, random comic book superhero movie. Don't get me wrong, I love random comic book superhero movies. Very fond of the Marvel series. A couple of DC films I could do, and some I could do without. But for the most part, superheroes are in. They're popular. It's what people like and enjoy nowadays. And the Power Rangers technically are superheroes. But anyone like myself, and a lot of you out there watching more than likely, you know what Power Rangers was already. You've seen the series, you grew up with it, you saw the first movie in 95, Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, in 96. So, in my mind, where did they go wrong with this new Power Rangers? Well, again, it was the casting. Casting and the writing. Again, you had all the source material there to work with. But the delivery was so wrong. Just so wrong, because the writing was terrible. We didn't need the characters' backstories rewritten. Just introduce us to the characters, which we already know, establish the fact that, yeah, they're in school and they never really met before, but now they're all becoming friends. And okay, that's all well and fine, but we didn't need all that backstory, especially when it came to Kimberly and her friends bullying her and no longer accepting her as part of their little friendship circle. Billy, of course, being the nerd, being picked on and bullied because he is a nerd. The whole issue with the Black Ranger, Zach's mother being sick, and then at the end of the movie, all of a sudden she was better again. I didn't get that. Jason, the Red Ranger, the leader, being a juvenile delinquent with, an ankle monitor because he's on house arrest. Again, Power Rangers, superhero, is supposed to be a good guy. I understand originally in Power Rangers, way back in 93, Zordon requested, bring me 5 teenagers with attitude. Okay. I didn't get attitude from this band of teenagers. Not necessarily like we got it from the cast in 93 from the show, but they all had unique personalities, and you could tell each one had a different unique attitude about them, the way they carried themselves, and just who they were. This new cast, I didn't get attitude from that. All I got was angst. And there's a big difference between teenage attitude and teenage angst. All I was getting was angst. Depressing, teenage, angsty drama is basically all we got. So what I'm getting down to is, don't want drama, don't want exposition, don't want filler. We want action. So basically, first thing that we want in Power Rangers 2, Hasbro, make this an action-forward movie. Don't wait 45 to 55 minutes in before we see the Rangers morph. That's all I'm saying. 10-15 minutes is all you need at the beginning of a movie to set up the plot, the exposition, and the story to push to move forward. That's all you need, 10-15 minutes, especially if it's a sequel. We already know the expedition. We already know the backstory. Don't waste our time with it. Please don't waste our time with it. Another thing that we want, something that, or, as I said before, as I want, I want to actually see the Megazord form. Not like at the end of the first Power Rangers film, or rather the 2017 Power Rangers film, where they were in their Zords, they were losing the battle, and all of a sudden they fall down a volcanic pit and then just rise up again, and the Megazord is already formed. We didn't see exactly how they were going to transform the Zords to fit in and make the actual Megazord. We didn't see it. It was just, boom, in the fire and then out of the fire, Megazord. We want to see the actual transformation sequence. Now, I know you're trying to not trying to say that your movie is like Transformers, where these giant robots, that's basically are transforming, and that's basically it. That's the whole draw of the movie, is just seeing these things transform. And no, it's not. I don't want this movie to be like Transformers. Hell no, do I not want it to be like Transformers. I don't like the Transformers movies, if you can tell. Didn't really care for Transformers when I was a kid either, but I digress. I guess it's better now than it was. It's not hard to do a Megazord forming sequence. So I would like to see that, please. Please. Another thing that I would like to see, I would like to see a bigger, more intimidating villain. Now, what I mean by bigger, obviously, I mean stronger, more threatening. And I'm not talking about Lord Zed. If Lord Zed is in this film, I'm just going to flip my shit. Because what they did with Rita Repulsa in the first film was just god-awful. It was awful. Number one, Rita was never the Green Ranger. Just wasn't. It wasn't supposed to be that way. Number two, I don't ever remember Rita Repulsa eating gold in the original 1993 series of Power Rangers, or Lady Bandora, as she was known in Kyoryu Sentai Zyu Ranger, the Japanese version of Mighty Morphin in '92, she never ate gold either, so, or had a fascination with gold. So, again, throw all that out the window. Give us a villain. Let me go ahead and say, if you're going to do Lord Zed, if you're going to, keep his look and his personality pretty much the same from Power Rangers Season 2. Please don't change him and don't make him look more human or less human than he already is. Keep the same basic look the same. Just make him more intimidating, I guess. You can do that. I mean, he basically looks like Shredder with an exposed brain. That's still pretty intimidating in my mind. Even though Lord Zed originally was never in Super Sentai. He was not a Super Sentai villain. He was an all-American made villain for Season 2 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So, there. Now, that pretty much covers the simple little things that I want from the new Power Rangers film. See, that's not many. I'm not greedy. I'm not gonna say that they need to change everything that they're doing. No. I think, for the most part, they're on the right track. They just need to be more action forward with the cast and the story. Simple as that. Now, for the dirty part of this job, getting down to what we don't want. First and foremost, what we don't want is a female Green Ranger. Don't want it. Don't need it. It was bad enough back in 1993 when Power Rangers first started that they turned the Yellow Ranger boy, yes, his name was Boy, and turned the Yellow Ranger into a girl for our series, Trini, the Yellow Ranger. Now, anyone who knows anything about Power Rangers knows that Saban had this little habit of changing the Yellow Ranger. If it was a male, he would change the male Yellow Ranger to a female. Now, eventually they did stop doing this, especially when Disney got a hold of the franchise for a few seasons. They set it straight. No more changing genders. Just because some target audience or focus group thought that there's too many men in this show. Try to remember that Power Rangers is adapted from Super Sentai, which comes from Japan. In Japan, not to be gender biased, but in Japan, it is traditional for the majority of the team to be male. There are some teams of Rangers where there are 2 females. There are teams of Rangers where there is only 1 female. There's even been teams of Rangers in Super Sentai where there was no females whatsoever. But to try now and say that everything needs to be equal, well, that may be true with everyday life and society. Things do need to be equal. I agree with that. But when it comes to film, theater, these fictional characters, this story, a story, by the way, that's already been established with characters, at this point, I'm fine with the fact that the Yellow Ranger, that Trini is the Yellow Ranger. I'm fine with that because it's been around for so long now. It's just what everybody knows. But even back then when I was a kid, I knew that the Yellow Ranger was a man and was supposed to be a man. So every time you saw stock footage, it confused you. Now, this is supposed to be a family show, but I'm just going to go ahead and say, any kid not knowing where that whole idea of changing the yellow male ranger to a female came from, if they didn't know about that, I could easily see some kid back in 1993 saying, "Mommy, Daddy, why does the Yellow Ranger, why does she have a pee-pee?" Because it was clear as day. I'm sorry. It really was. When it came to the stock footage, you could tell. You could tell. There was no hiding it. No tucking or anything like that necessary. Obviously, any footage reshot by Saban and his studios, obviously then it was a female in the Yellow Ranger outfit. obviously. But, of course, he couldn't change it, make it to where when he did reshoot those scenes, that the Yellow Ranger was wearing a skirt on her suit, like, say, the Pink Ranger, like Kimberly was, or had on her suit. They didn't because of the fact that he wanted to continue to use stock footage. And, of course, the stock footage, he was a male, no skirt, you could tell. End of story. So, getting back to the whole thing of the Green Ranger being a female. Not only do I not want this to happen, it shouldn't happen, and I believe that it can't happen. If this movie that Hasbro is making, this sequel to the 2017 Power Rangers film, if it is indeed a sequel to that with the same cast, at the end of the 2017 Power Rangers film, there was an end credit scene where it was the camera pans to the classroom and the teacher is doing roll call for the students. When he announces the name Tommy Oliver, it pans to an empty chair. Tommy Oliver. We all know who Tommy Oliver is. He is the greatest American Ranger in the world that we have. When it comes to acting, fight choreography, his action sequences, even his dramatic scenes are actually really convincing. He is just by far the best actor that we have here in America for Power Rangers. Enough said. And the fact that the teacher said the name Tommy Oliver. I've never met a girl with the name Tommy. So therefore, in this movie, this sequel, Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger, should be and will be a male. Sorry to burst your bubble. So anyone out there who was jumping on the bandwagon of, oh yeah, go ahead and make the Green Ranger a female. Rita was the Green Ranger, so just keep it a female the whole time. No, because that's not the way it was. That's not the way the story was. If this was anything else, again, if this was any other superhero movie, comic book movie, whatever, if I didn't know anything about Power Rangers, if this had nothing to do with Power Rangers, I would say, yeah, go ahead and make the green hero a girl. That's fine. But this is Power Rangers. The Green Ranger is a male named Tommy Oliver. Get over it. That is the end of that discussion. So, that's the first thing I do not want, we do not need in the new Power Rangers movie. Second thing, and this is more than likely the last thing that we do not need in the new Power Rangers. What we do not need is another cliffhanger. I don't want another cliffhanger. If Hasbro wanted to make a sequel to the 2017 Power Rangers film, that's fine. That's all well and fine, because that did end on a bit of a cliffhanger, wondering about Tommy the Green Ranger, who had the Green Ranger powers at the end of that film. That's fine. If you make a sequel, I'm all for it. To see the Green Ranger finish out this story. If you want to bring Rita back, that's fine. Bring her back, and then finish her off for good. I would go ahead and say right now that after we finish off, we see the Green Ranger, he becomes friends with the other Rangers, but maybe he's evil at first, fights the Rangers, and then obviously, because Rita still has control over the Green Ranger powers, somewhat, so even though she can't use them herself, she can still control the person that does use them. But then eventually he breaks free of the spell and then joins the Rangers to fight Rita and take her out for good. That's what I want to see. But what I don't want to see after that is another sequel. I don't want to see another sequel, only for the fact that I have a feeling that if they did a third movie, a sequel to that, if that is indeed the story, what they're going with, the Green Ranger fighting, being evil, then being good, fighting Rita, finishing her for good. I don't want a third movie to show up, and then all of a sudden, you do the same thing make the same mistake that Saban made when it came to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and that's mixing the Rangers together. I understand as of right now, Tommy Oliver, the character, is cemented as several different Rangers, having several different Ranger powers. I understand that. But I was never in agreement with him being the White Ranger. I never was. I just never cared for the White Ranger. Love the Green Ranger. Love Red Zeo and Black Dino Thunder. I'd say Turbo, but he was only the Turbo Red Ranger for about 13, 14 episodes of the series, and then TJ took over, and that was one of the worst mistakes Saban could have ever made, letting Jason David Frank go because he couldn't afford him anymore. Well, I don't want to see Tommy Oliver as a White Ranger. Do not mix any more series together. We already have that mistake as canon lore in our Power Rangers series, our Power Rangers universe. I don't want the same mistake to be repeated for the movies. I just don't. I think that a second movie to the 2017 Power Rangers film with all the aspects and story that I described would be perfect, would be fine. I'm all for that. But nothing after that. Seriously, nothing after that. At least not with this said team of Power Rangers. Because, as I've said many times in the past, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers isn't the best or only series. It's not. There are so many other Power Ranger series, and in my mind, so many other better Power Ranger series than Mighty Morphin. Yes, it was what we started with. It's what a lot of people grew up with, and the characters were just simple enough and easy for everybody to connect with in some way. That's fine. But on the whole, no more movies after number 2. Not necessary. Make this one a big, grand blowout. Make it one of the best things that you could ever do when it comes to Power Rangers being on the big silver screen. Because aside from that, we still have the series, and I don't think we'll ever stop making the series. So I just think it would be interesting to see the sequel be made, and it is being made. I hope that others agree with my opinion, and that Hasbro takes some of my advice if they end up seeing my video. And that is what we want and what we don't want from Power Rangers 2. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. You all know the deal. I'm still on my journey to 1,000 subscribers. Once I get there, I'll be ecstatic. I really will be. And if and when I reach 1,000 subscribers, hopefully sometime soon, I have all sorts of giveaway contests and extra special content that I am awaiting to post. But I'm not going to post it until I reach 1,000 subscribers, guys. I really, really do appreciate all your support. Leave comments down in the comment section below. Let me know if you agree. Let me know what you want to see and what you don't want to see from Hasbro's sequel to Saban's 2017 Power Rangers theatrical film. This is Rangers Ready Go, and until next Toku Talk Tuesday, I'll see you later.